Hi friends, thanks for joining me today at KidMadeModern. My name is Tessa Anderstrom from Studio Jane, and I'm excited to be exploring the Valentine Craft Kit from KidMadeModern with you today. We're going to be making some adorable paper flowers, adorning them with all sorts of decorations, and then turning them into bouquets just in time for Valentine's Day. You know all your friends and family are going to be loving these paper flower bouquets, so let's make some just in time for Valentine's Day.
To make our paper flower bouquets today, we'll be using our KidMadeModern Valentine Craft Bundle, which includes construction paper, rhinestones, pom-poms, fuzzy sticks, embroidery thread, scissors, glue dots, and glue. There's also the option to add note cards with the postcards, felt hearts, and additional decorations. A couple additional materials we use today that you won't find in your kit are extra colors of construction paper and paper straws. Making paper flowers and paper flower bouquets is one of my favorite crafts. It's super easy and there's so much variety you can do. So we're going to go through all the steps to make quite a few different styles of flowers using some templates as well as completely constructing our own from different types of paper. So if you are going to follow along with the templates, we're going to go ahead and cut these templates out first. So when I cut items out, I like to get rid of any of the excess paper so that that doesn't get in the way as you're cutting. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut along the black outline here. And we are going to be tracing these onto our fun, colorful paper. You can also draw your own, which we're going to go over as well. And whenever I find a template I like or make my own templates like these, then I like to hang on to them. So you don't have to keep printing them out over and over. So once you have some shapes that you like, then you can just hang on to them, store them with your other craft supplies, and reuse them to trace over and over again. Then we also have some heart shapes here. So since we are celebrating Valentine's Day together, I thought it'd be fun to make a heart-shaped flower. So we are going to cut out some hearts here as well. You can definitely draw your own hearts, and we might do some of that as well today. But if you want them all to be similar in shape and size, then a template is a great way to do that. So go ahead and cut out all 3 of your heart templates. And then in addition to the actual flowers, we have some leaf shapes and some little greenery shapes. So whenever you make a bouquet, I always think it's fun to add in some additional greenery that really brings it to life.
Okay, so now that we have all of our templates cut out here, we're going to start by making some simple daisy flowers. So we are going to be using 2 shapes, 2 cutouts per flower that we're making for the daisies. So for instance, I'm going to take some of this pink paper
from our kits, and I'm going to trace 2 of the same size. So these, I'm using a thick black marker here so that you can see my outlines, but you can really use any marker or pencil, even a crayon will work, so you don't have to be using the same marker to outline. So we have one, and now we're going to have a second one. And we're going to do the same thing with a few other pieces of paper here. So we're going to do a couple of large daisies on this red. Okay, so now that we have quite a few different daisies ready to go, we're just going to cut all of these out. So now that we have quite a few of our daisy shapes all ready to go here, we are going to assemble them. So I'm going to kind of curl the edges of my petals a little bit. So I'm just going to take my pointer finger, lay it right in the middle of my petal, and then with my thumb and my middle finger, I'm just going to curve the petal slightly around my finger. So this is just kind of curving the paper, sort of curling it a little bit, but not so much bending it. So there's not a hard crease in the middle, it just is bending it slightly. If you fold it a little bit too much and you get a hard crease, just flatten it out and try again. It can also look really pretty with some folds in it, so you can't really go wrong. So now you can see the difference. It just gives it a little more three-dimensional aspect to it. So we're going to go ahead and do that with all of our petals here. So now we have all of our petals just slightly curled to give them a little more life, and we are going to take some of our just white glue from our kits here. You can also use any sort of craft glue, glue dots, hot glue, all of that will work. And we're going to take one of our small sized daisies and we're going to layer it in the middle. So I'm just going to put a little drop of glue in the middle, and then I'm layering my daisy on top. And I layer it just enough so that the petals overlap the creases, and that just gives it a more full look. So where the petal, so we want the petal to kind of overlap in between each other. And we're gonna do the same thing with our other large one and add a little bit of glue in the middle. And then I'm just gonna take my daisy, lay it right on top so that my petals are kind of opposite of one another. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing here with a yellow. And then this one I'm just leaving as is, so we can have a little small one, and so they're all a little different as well. Next, I'm going to take a glue dot and some pom-poms. So we're just using some fun, colorful pom-poms from our Valentine kits. And I'm going to take a glue dot. These also come in our Valentine kit that we're using today. If you already used your glue dots or you don't have the kits yet, then you can definitely use hot glue or craft glue. It will take a while for pom-poms to dry using craft glue, so the glue dots are the easiest. Okay, so I'm just going to take my glue dot, stick it right to the back, and then lay my pom-pom right in the middle. And I'm just going to use some different colors here. I think these black sparkly pom-poms are fun. Add a little modern element to our paper craft here. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with these. So I'm going to take a couple other ones. I'm going to use some smaller pom-poms for the small blue ones. And then what do we think? Maybe some fun bright green in the center of these, or some hot pink. Yeah, those are cute. So we'll go ahead and then do the same thing here. We're just going to peel our glue dots over and stick a glue dot directly on the back of my pom-pom and then press it right into the middle of my flower. All right, so now we have all of these. We're gonna go ahead and grab some of our fuzzy sticks here. And what we're going to do is take our glue dots again. We're gonna flip over our flowers. I'm gonna take a glue dot, I'm gonna peel one off and stick it in the middle. And then I'm gonna lay my fuzzy stick in the middle on top of that glue dot. And then we'll take a second glue dot, put it on top of the fuzzy stick, and layer our other flower right on top. So we're using the same size flowers, so now we've created a double-sided flower. So from whatever way you display your bouquets, they'll be beautiful. And then if you feel like yours needs a little bit more, you can just take a couple more glue dots. So I'm gonna peel one off here and add a glue dot down here to stick the paper together as well. So now we have this fun little Gerber daisy, and we'll do the same thing with these. So we'll take and now we have these fun layered flowers that are going to be an adorable bouquet. Okay, so now we have our flowers here, but we want to add some greenery as well to our bouquet. So I'm going to take a couple of green fuzzy sticks and take the little leaves that our leaf templates that we cut out earlier, and I'm going to use some green paper and trace these and then cut these out. So we're going to do a similar with our greeneries we did the flowers. So if any size we cut out, we're going to cut out 2 so that we can layer them back to back. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and cut out our leaf shapes. All right, so now that we have cut out some of our leaves, and I used a few couple different colors of green construction paper, but you can use any color you want to make your leaves. So we have our fuzzy sticks here. We're going to do basically the same thing we did to construct our daisies. We're just going to use our little sheet of glue dots. Peel the back off of some here. And then I'm going to take my leaf, and the bottom portion of my leaf here, I'm going to put my glue dot on. And then we will go ahead and layer our fuzzy stick right on top. And then we'll do the same thing with another leaf. And this one we will position the opposite direction. And then just press those together. So now you have leaves going two different ways on here. And I'm mixing and matching my paper. So I'm going to add one up at the top here and then flip it over. And with the same size leaf, I'm just going to layer it on top. And then we'll do something similar here. So we're going to take our leaf, glue dot on there. And this one I layered directly on top of each other. So what I'm going to do now to make it look like one, I'm just going to trim any bit that doesn't overlap right away. And now it looks like it's one piece, but our fuzzy stick is in the middle, so it looks like it is all part of it. And then I'm going to take, you can see we've got our fuzzy stick here. And then we'll take our mini leaves here, lay our fuzzy stick right on top. And we'll do the same thing, add a little one on this one. Since the small ones, I was able to just use one glue dot for those to hold it together. So now we have some fun paper greenery. And if you want to, you can do something similar to the way we kind of curved our flower petals. We're just going to do the same thing and curve our leaves a little bit, just to give them a little more shape and life. So again, we're just going to take our our pointer finger, put it right on top, and then with our middle finger and thumb, just kind of bend it slightly. Same thing here. Now we have some fun greenery that's ready for our bouquet. So with our daisies, you can definitely make as big or as small of a bouquet as you want to. But for our daisy bouquet here, we're going to just layer them all together. So I like to have a little bit of greenery on one side versus another, and then kind of lay them all together. So once we have them all kind of layered together, we're going to take one of our fun little clothespins. These came in our Valentine kit as well. We're going to just pinch them all together. And then I'm just going to trim a little bit off the bottom, so any of the fuzzy sticks that are a little longer, I'm just going to trim those down. and you have a fun bouquet almost ready to gift. So now that we have our bouquet finished, it's all constructed, our last step is going to be really making it into a gift. So we're going to use one of our little postcards from our Valentine kits. You can definitely use just an extra piece of paper or anything like that, a little card. And we're just going to write a sweet message. So I just wrote a little "Will you be my Valentine? Love, Tessa." And then on the front, we are going to write "To my Valentine." And I'm going to take a couple of these fun stickers as well and add a little extra personality to the front here. You could even take a couple of extra pom-poms and we could add some of those. So we'll just decorate this card a little bit to make it a fun little element to our bouquets. So I'm just going to take a couple pom-poms, and just like we did on the front of our flowers, we'll just add a little pom-pom there. And then I'm going to take some more of these little stickers. Just go almost all the way. I'm going to trim that extra bit off. So just customize this a little bit to make it feel special for whoever you're giving it to. And then, since we have our fun little clip here, I'm just going to layer my note card right inside and then clip it all together. And you have a beautiful bouquet ready to gift to your Valentine or whoever else you're celebrating Valentine's with. So this is just one of our fun ideas for a paper bouquet. But we're going to dive right into making some different types of flowers, and you can make separate bouquets or mix them all together for a fun bouquet featuring tons of different types of flowers. For our next flower bouquet here, we are going to be using our heart templates to make heart-shaped petals. So we're just going to go ahead and trace our hearts. And you can definitely draw your own hearts here as well, and they can be all different sizes. That will still work. So if you are tracing your hearts from the template, I'm going to use 5 hearts per flower. So we traced all those ones. We'll do a purple flower as well. I'm going to use the smaller one here. And now we're just going to go ahead and cut all of our traced hearts out. So once we have all of our hearts cut out here, we are going to fold them. So I'm going to use a little popsicle stick here. This is from the Valentine kit, but you can definitely use another straight edge you might have. And I'm just going to put it right in the middle of my heart and bend my heart up against the popsicle stick. So laying it right in the middle of my heart and then taking one half of it and just bending it, pushing it right up against the popsicle stick. And we're just going to do that to all of our hearts here. Okay, now we have all of our hearts folded a little bit here, and we're going to construct them. So with a little bit of tape, and I'm just using some of this fun metallic tape from the Valentine kit, but you can use any sort of office tape, will work. I'm just going to cut a piece about 1.5 inches and set that down real quick, and then I'm going to take all of my hearts here and layer them together. So once I have them all kind of layered together, I'm just going to flip them over, taking my piece of tape and putting it right across the middle so that it tapes all of them together. And you can see when we flip it back over, they're all a little bit loose at first, but they still have their fun little bend. And then we're going to take one of our fun rhinestones here and stick it in the middle. And by sticking it right in the middle, it also helps adhere them all together as they all are being connected with that sticky rhinestone. And we're going to do the same thing with our others. And then we can take a rhinestone and stick it right in the middle. You have a fun flowers all made from hearts. So next we're going to attach these to some paper straws. So these paper straws just from party supplies, and we are going to take them and flip our flowers over again. And we're going to take our same metallic tape, and you can, like I said, you can really use any office tape or anything, but since you will be able to see this, I always like to add a little decorative element. So this way it's fun that it still is shimmery and decorative so that the tape shows, and it's really part of the art you just made. So I'm just laying my straw right on top and then layering my tape down on it. And we'll do the same thing with our other flowers here. So we'll flip this over and then take a little striped straw and cut a couple pieces of tape. And then we'll just layer our tape right on top. Next, we are going to just hand draw a couple fun organic shapes for our greenery. So I'm just going to take my marker, and real quickly you can just draw a fun swoop and come back down. So it's a very simple shape to add some long green leaves. You can also completely freehand cut this. So I'm just going to go ahead and just cut some organic green leaf shapes. So there's going to be long, have a point on one end, and then if I feel like I want this to maybe be a little bit thinner at the top, just cut a little bit away. So we're just going to go ahead and make a couple leaves here. And that's what's fun with all these paper flower crafts, is that you can really create any shape you want, and then layering it all together creates a beautiful flower. So you don't have to be a great artist as far as being able to draw really well. You can cut out some fun shapes and then layer it together, add in some greenery, and it's going to look like a beautiful bouquet. All right, let's see here. Let's cut a couple more out. Just going to do a couple smaller ones as well. And as you can see, these are just some scraps from my other greenery that we cut out today. So it's always great, especially when you're mid-craft. I save all my pieces until I'm totally done to make sure what else I can use it for. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take some glue dots, and I'm just going to layer in a little bit of greenery on these. So I'm just going to take a glue dot on the back here, and then just lay my straw right on top. And we'll do the same thing with a couple more here. And if your bottom is a little bit thin on your greenery, just fold your glue dot and you can lay it right on top. And then I'm just going to take the thinner bottom portion of my greenery and just kind of tuck it around. And we're adding some fun leaves to these. And I'm going to go ahead and trim this down a little bit. And same with this, so that we can easily fold it around. So take my fun freehand cut greenery here, place my glue dot on the bottom. Any bits that are overlapping, I'm just going to tuck back and then layer right on top and curve it around a little bit. And then we'll do the same here. And then if you want to add a little more life to your leaves once they're pasted on here, I'm just going to slightly curve them, add a little more interest to them. So now that our flowers are all ready to be gathered together, we are going to take a fuzzy stick and use it as a ribbon. So I'm just going to lay my fuzzy stick on the back. I have all three of my paper straws overlapping, and then I'm going to fold one portion of my fuzzy stick over and then the other. So now they're laying next to each other, and we're just going to twist them together twice, and then we're going to just tie a simple knot, or fold a knot I should say. So we're going to make it look like a little bow. So we're going to just fold a little loop, fold another little loop, and then I'm going to take one tail and wrap it around. And then we'll do the same thing with this side. So take our tail, go underneath and around. And you have a cute little bow made from a fuzzy stick at the bottom holding your bouquet, and it's all ready to gift. For this flower, we are going to be making spiral rolled roses. So that sounds like a lot of steps, but it's really pretty simple. So I'm just using a bowl from my kitchen. So you can definitely grab a bowl or anything that is round to trace. So I'm just going to take my bowl, flip it upside down, and this is about a 7-inch wide bowl. But you can really use, again, anything round to trace, and you can make them any size as well. So this is going to make a decent size rose, but you can make yours smaller if you want to trace a glass or something like that. Okay, so now we traced our circle. So we're going to go ahead and just cut our circle out first. Okay, so now we have our circle all cut out, and then we are going to cut this into a spiral shape. So you can either draw the spiral first, or you can just freehand cut it. So what we're gonna do is just coming in from a little point here, and then we're going to draw a spiral, keeping about the same width all the way around. So as you come to your edge here, we're just going to make our circle a little bit smaller and keep going all the way. And again, you don't have to draw it first. If you want to just go ahead and cut that shape instead out, then you can do that as well. So that's what we're going to do next. So following our line here, we are just going to go ahead and cut our spiral out. And you just want to make sure as you're doing the final bit here that you don't cut that off, so you leave this little circle in the middle. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and trim this little edge here where I started so that it's rounded. So now we have this full spiral, which that in itself is a very fun craft. You could totally decorate these and hang these, but today we're making flowers. So we're going to go ahead and take this and roll it into a rose. So to roll our rose, we're going to start from our little tail here and roll it all together. So you have to kind of bend it at first to get it started here and start rolling it, lining up this portion on the inside. So as you start to roll it, you'll see you're getting this little spiral. And then you're just going to keep rolling. So if it starts to spiral out of this little tube you're making, just push it back in and hold it together. So we're going to spiral roll this whole thing. So it's not very complicated. It's basically the same step the whole way. You just want to hold it fairly tight so that you're creating this tight spiral and you don't lose it and it all unravels everywhere. If it does unravel, just start over again. Once you get the hang of holding it all tightly together, then you'll be a pro at making these. So if yours starts to pop out, I like to just kind of hold it from both ends with my other hand and then just keep rolling it. As we are doing this, you're going to start to get a little bit that might come out like this, and that's fine. That's just going to add to our rose look. And then just keep rolling here. And you can see it's starting to look a little bit like a rose. And the wider, the more we fill this, you're going to start to get little bits that continue to pop out, and that's fine. Just
keep holding it all together. Again, it's going to start expanding, and that's fine. We're going to let it expand a little bit as we get to the end. So I'm just holding it together with my thumb and forefinger here. Take this last bit around, and then this little circle I'm going to hold on the bottom, and then I'm just going to let it unravel a little bit. So just slowly let go. You'll see it start to unspiral, and then just push it all back down together. And as it starts to unspiral a little bit, it'll start to take shape. And right before your eyes, you made a rose. So now we're holding on to this all still. And I'm going to take a glue dot. So you can also use hot glue, but we're going to take a glue dot here and put it on the bottom, and then push it all down together. Give a little bit of pressure, and you have a little rose. So to make sure it's secure, we're just going to add a couple more glue dots in this bottom portion so that it doesn't unravel anymore. So I'm just going to take my glue dots here, and I'm just going to take them with my hand. Sometimes they turn it kind of into a little glue ball instead of a dot, and that's fine. And I'm just going to add a couple in between these bottom layers, and then just press that together. So again, you can definitely use hot glue if you're crafting with an adult today, and you would do something similar, just add in a couple drops of hot glue in between the bottom layers, and that'll keep it from expanding anymore. And there you have a beautiful pink rose. So next, we're just going to make a couple more so that we can have a fun little bouquet of roses to gift. Now after you've rolled however many roses you want to make for your bouquet, we're going to take some popsicle sticks here, and these are the fun painted ones that come in our kit, and I'm going to make them a little longer to be our stems. So I'm going to take one end of my popsicle stick and press a glue dot onto it, and then with my other of the same color, just going to layer those together. And then add a little bit of pressure, and we have a long popsicle stick. And we'll do the same thing with the others. We have these ready to go. We are going to take our roses, and with another glue dot, I'm going to put on the top of my popsicle stick, and then take my rose and just push it down onto the stick. So now we have all three of these roses almost ready, but first we're going to add, you guessed it, some greenery. So we are going to take some green construction paper,
And using this template that we cut out earlier, we're going to trace this. Okay, so we have a couple of our little eucalyptus inspired greenery, and we'll cut these out. So now we have a couple pieces of greenery to add in here as well. But I think I'm gonna add a couple of leaves to the individual stems also. So I'm just going to cut some little leaves out here and just little shapes like this. Just kind of freehanding cutting them. You can definitely draw some out first if you want, or you can use a template from earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and take my glue dots again, our handy glue dots, and just put one on the back, and then I'm going to attach a couple of leaves. So I am attaching them right along where our seam is that we put our popsicle sticks together. And that way kind of hides that. It's also a great location that's kind of right in the middle. It's not too low, so it won't get in the way of how we gather our bouquet at the end. All right, adding in there. So now they're all a little bit different. And we'll gather them together here, adding in our additional greenery, just kind of layering them all together. So to tie this bouquet together, I'm going to use some more decorative tape from our kits here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull out about a foot or so long piece, and then holding on to this, I'm going to go ahead and pick up all of my pieces to make sure that they're all connected. And I'm going to take my tape along this bottom portion, and I'm just going to wrap it around a couple times, making sure that as I do, anything that's moving, just kind of connect it back together. So our little gold wrap here, make sure that everything stays in place and still looks pretty, but then we're just going to take a little bit of red embroidery thread and layer that around as well. Just 1, 2, 3 times. And then I'm going to tie a little bow at the bottom. So just a simple bow like you would tie your shoes. So that way we don't have to worry about this ribbon really holding them in place since our tape is doing that work for us. But this adds a fun little decorative element. And then you have another adorable bouquet ready to give to your Valentine or anyone else this fun season. I love all of these flowers we made together today, and I know they're going to be great Valentine's gifts. Don't forget to add a sweet note to each of them, and have a happy Valentine's Day.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And for more fun inspiration and craft kits, check us out at KidMadeModern.com. Thanks, and I can't wait to see you all again for the next video.